What's the tea, darlings? Your favorite soul insider here with the hottest story of the season. Nothing reveals a person's true character quite like a wedding, particularly when an uninvited truth walks through the door in an elegant gown. Buckle up, loves, because this story is about to get messy.
The Park Kim wedding, the event of the year. We're talking Seoul's most exclusive country club. You know, the one where even billionaires need a referral to get in. 300 guests, every single one of them dripping in old money and older judgments. Dior gowns, Tom Ford tuxedos, champagne towers taller than my credit card debt. The kind of wedding that gets a 12-page spread in Luxury Soul magazine. The kind where every angle is Instagram perfect and every smile is calculated. Everything is perfect. Everything is controlled. Everyone knows their place. And then she walks in. A black woman, alone, designer gown hugging every curve, hair laid to the gods, makeup flawless, confidence on 100,000, walking through those doors like she owns the whole damn country club. This woman wasn't on the guest list. Her invitation rescinded 2 weeks ago. Security was literally briefed to keep her out. So why would she walk into a room full of Korea's elite, knowing she's not wanted, knowing every eye would be on her, knowing she'd face whispers, stares, and straight-up disrespect? The bride's mother literally clutching her Hermes bag like it's a life vest. See, what these designer-dressed, champagne-sipping old-money gatekeepers didn't know, the woman they were about to humiliate, mock, and disrespect wasn't just some random black girl who wandered into their exclusive party. She was a weapon, a beautifully dressed, perfectly composed, strategically placed weapon, and they were about to pull the trigger on themselves. This story has everything love, forbidden love, secret marriages, and a plot twist so delicious I had to fact-check it 3 times because it seemed too good to be true. But it is true, every single word. Welcome to Ella Bill's Stories. Before we step into this world of fear, loyalty, and dangerous love, I want to thank you for being here. Your time matters, and I'm honored you're spending it with me. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Your support keeps this channel alive. Now, let's dive into it together. Now, let me set the scene for you properly, because the details matter, darlings. Let's start at the beginning, or should I say, let's start at the moment everything fell apart. We're inside the Park Kim wedding reception at the Shilla Country Club. This venue costs more to rent for one night than most people make in a year. We're talking hand-carved ice sculptures, imported Italian marble floors, and floral arrangements that required flying in a designer from Paris. Paris, loves, for flowers. The guest list reads like a Forbes Korea special edition, and everyone knows their place. The hierarchy is unspoken but absolute. You sit where you're told. You smile at who you're supposed to. You don't make waves. You definitely don't show up uninvited. And then she walks in. A black woman in a custom Vera Wang that probably cost more than the bride's dress, walking through those doors like she owns the place. Hair laid, makeup flawless, energy absolutely unbothered. She's not creeping along the walls. She's not looking for a corner to hide in. No, baby, she's walking down that center aisle with her head high and her shoulders back like she's walking a Paris runway. And the reaction? Honey, you could power the whole city of Seoul with the shock in this room. Whispers in Korean start flying. I catch a few. Who is that? Is she lost? Did someone bring her? The judgment is thick, darlings. You can practically taste it in the air, along with the Dom Perignon. One of the aunties literally clutches her pearls. I'm not even being dramatic. She literally reaches for her necklace like Nancy's presence might steal it. And here comes security, a man in a black suit, earpiece in, walking toward her with that "ma'am, you need to leave" energy. He's speaking to her in Korean, firm but polite, asking if she has an invitation. And Nancy doesn't panic, doesn't stutter, doesn't pull out a printed invitation or start explaining herself. She just pulls out her phone, unlocks it with the calmest energy I've ever seen, shows him the screen, and says in perfect Korean, "Call this number." And baby, the way this man's face changed, like he just saw a ghost, his ancestors, and his entire career flash before his eyes all at once. He waves her through, just like that, no phone call made, just the number itself was enough. Now, what number could make a trained security professional look like he's about to lose his job and his pension? Girl, even I don't have that tea yet, but we're gonna find out, trust me. Nancy keeps walking. The crowd parts for her, not out of respect, but out of confusion. Nobody knows what's happening. The whispers get louder. Phones start coming out. People are texting, calling, trying to figure out who this mystery woman is. And then, oh honey, then she finds her seat. Front row, family section. Not the guest section, not even the distant relative section, not even the close friends section, the family section, reserved for parents, siblings, grandparents, the inner circle. And that's when Mrs. Park, the bride's mother, dripping in Cartier and old money confidence, turns around, still laughing at someone's joke, still holding her champagne flute, still completely unaware that her perfect wedding is about to become very, very complicated. She sees Nancy and drops her champagne glass, just lets it fall right out of her hand, $50 champagne splashing across a marble floor, crystal shards everywhere. The whole room goes silent. Everyone's looking now at Mrs. Park, at Nancy, back at Mrs. Park. The bride stops mid-laugh. The groom's father stops talking. Even the orchestra seems to play quieter, like they can feel the tension. And Nancy, our girl Nancy, just sits there, calm, unbothered, face giving absolutely nothing away, except maybe the tiniest hint of a smile, like she's exactly where she's supposed to be, like she knows something nobody else does, because she does. Mrs. Park's face has gone from champagne flushed to ghost white. Her hand is over her mouth, her eyes are wide, and I know she's thinking the same thing everyone else in this room is thinking. Who is she? Why is she here? And why does she look so damn confident? Well, darlings, to understand why Nancy just walked into the lion's den wearing Vera Wang and a smile, we need to go back, 3 months back, to the night everything started, to the night Chairman Kang Min-ho, Seoul's most powerful, most eligible, most untouchable bachelor, saw Nancy across a crowded room and decided his carefully controlled life should get very complicated. Let's rewind, babes, because Nancy didn't just randomly show up to ruin a wedding. Oh no, this story started 3 months ago at the Seoul International Charity Gala. You know, the event where billionaires bid on overpriced art so they can feel good about their tax write-offs, where the champagne flows, the designer gowns cost more than college tuition, and everyone pretends they care about underprivileged youth while wearing watches that could fund an actual school. Yeah, that party. The Seoul International Charity Gala is the social event if you're in the upper echelons of Korean society. It's where deals get made over cocktails, alliances form over canapes, and everyone sizes each other up while pretending to care about the auction items. And there's Nancy, professional, polished, doing her job. She's there as a translator and consultant for Apex International, an American tech firm trying to break into the Korean market. She's not there to party, she's there to work, taking notes, facilitating conversations between American executives and Korean investors, being brilliant at what she does, which is making million-dollar deals happen across language barriers. And let me tell you something about our girl Nancy. She's good at this. Fluent in Korean, understands the culture, knows when to translate directly and when to soften the message. She's not just translating words, she's translating intent. The American executives don't even realize how many disasters she's preventing with her careful word choices. Nancy finishing a conversation, both parties shaking hands, smiling. Another deal saved, another bridge built. Nancy excuses herself, checks her tablet, already thinking about the next meeting. And that's when he walks in. Chairman Kang Min-ho, 32 years old, CEO of Kang Industries, one of the largest tech and real estate conglomerates in Korea, self-made billionaire, featured in Forbes Asia's 30 Under 30 when he was 26, known for hostile takeovers, brilliant strategy, and an absolutely ruthless business sense. And fine, like the kind of fine that makes you forget your own name. Sharp jawline, intense eyes, that perfectly styled black hair, moves like he knows exactly how much power he holds and doesn't need to prove it to anyone. The room shifts when he enters, conversations pause, people straighten their posture, business cards get ready. Everyone wants his attention, his time, his investment. But Kang, he's not interested in any of them because his eyes just landed on Nancy. And baby, the way this man stopped mid-stride, like he just saw something that made his carefully calculated brain malfunction. Their eyes met, and I'm not being dramatic when I say you could feel the electricity from across the room. That moment in every K-drama where the music swells and everything goes slow motion, that actually happened. And this man, this chairman who has people schedule meetings months in advance just to get 15 minutes of his time, just walks towards her, cutting through the crowd, ignoring everyone trying to get his attention. Nancy's thinking he probably walking towards someone behind her, some investor, some business partner, because why would Chairman Kang be walking towards her? But he stops right in front of her and speaks. "You speak Korean?" Kang said in Korean. "Fluently," Nancy replied in perfect Korean. "You speak English?" she asked. "When I need to," he replied. Oh, y'all, the tension, the chemistry, the way they're just looking at each other like everyone else in this ballroom just disappeared. He's looking at her like she's the most interesting thing he's seen in years. She's looking at him like she knows exactly what he's doing, and she's not impressed, but also not unimpressed. "I'm Minho," Kang said, still in English. "Nancy," she replied. Just their names, no titles, no companies, no context. Just two people having a moment in a room full of people who would kill to be having this conversation with him. "You're here alone?" Kang continued. "I'm here working," Nancy said with a slight smile. "That's not what I asked," he replied. "I'm here with colleagues, but at this particular moment, yes, alone." "Good," he replied. Okay, the confidence on this man, and Nancy, she's not backing down. She's matching his energy. Baby, if you could bottle this tension and sell it, you'd be a millionaire. This man is gone, like completely forgot he's at a business event, forgot he's supposed to be networking, forgot his own name probably. And people are noticing. Chairman Kang doesn't talk to random people at events. He definitely doesn't look at anyone like that.
"Sir, the Park family is watching," his assistant whispered, and just like that, the spell breaks. His assistant just reminded him where he is, who he is, and who's watching. The Park family, his business rivals, the ones who would love to use any ammunition against him, and being seen getting cozy with a black woman at a public event, in their minds, that's ammunition. He looks back at Nancy and said, "I'll find you later." "Will you?" she asked. "I will, with promises." Nancy exhales, didn't even realize she'd been holding her breath. Her heart is pounding, her hands are slightly shaking, and she's thinking, what just happened? And Chairman Kang, he's trying to focus on the conversation in front of him, trying to act normal, but his eyes keep drifting back to her, again and again. This man is gone, darlings, completely gone, and he doesn't even know it yet. Nancy's phone buzzes. Unknown number. Text message. "Don't leave without saying goodbye. M." Oh, he found her number. Already. How? Don't ask. These chaebol chairmen have resources, baby. And this, loves, is just the beginning, because what happens next? A secret courtship that would make any K-drama writer jealous.
So, here's where it gets spicy, darlings. Chairman Kang did find her later, and again, and again. Late-night texts became early morning coffee dates, became private dinners, became, well, you can use your imagination, loves. But here's the catch. Nobody could know. And when I say nobody, I mean nobody. Not his business partners, not his friends, not the media, not even his own family. 2 weeks after the gala, Kang takes Nancy to dinner. But not just any dinner. He rents out an entire rooftop restaurant. The whole thing. Every table empty except theirs. Candles everywhere. Seoul skyline glittering below them like diamonds. It's beautiful. It's romantic. It's also isolating. "Why does it feel like we're hiding?" Nancy asked. "Because we are," Kang replied, honestly and direct. "I'm not going to be your secret, Minho." "You're not my secret. You're my priority. There's a difference." "Is there? Because from where I'm sitting, it feels like you're ashamed," Nancy cuts in. "Never. I am never ashamed of you. But the world I live in, the business I'm in, there are people who would use you to hurt me, use us to destroy everything I've built. I'm not hiding you. I'm protecting you." And here's the thing, loves. He means it. This isn't some man keeping his side piece quiet. This is a man trying to navigate a world where showing vulnerability is dangerous, where love is a liability. But Nancy, she's not convinced. Not yet. But he keeps showing up, and slowly Nancy starts to understand that this man isn't playing games. Secret weekend in Jeju Island, just them, no staff, no security hovering, just 2 people being normal. He tries to teach her how to use chopsticks properly, completely unaware she's been using them since she was 12 and is just messing with him. He lets him believe he's teaching her for 3 whole dinners before she picks up a single grain of rice with perfect precision, and he realizes she's been playing him the whole time. Kang's face shocked, then laughing. "You've been messing with me?" "For weeks," Nancy replied. Baby, the way he looked at her in that moment, like she was the most amazing thing he'd ever encountered, that's when Nancy started falling. She meets Mr. Cho, his driver and the only person in Kang's world who knows about them. Mr. Cho becomes their secret keeper, their ally, the one who makes sure Nancy can come and go without being followed by press or rivals. Late-night FaceTime calls, him still at the office at 2 a.m., tie loosened, exhausted, her in pajamas with tea, keeping him company across the screen. He sends her designer gifts, Chanel, Dior, Cartier, the whole luxury brand playbook. She sends them all back, every one, with a note,
I'm not for sale. And instead of being offended, he respects it, starts sending books instead, first editions, rare poetry, things with meaning, not just price tags. And that's when she knows he's different. But y'all know this couldn't stay perfect forever, right? 6 weeks in, Kang asks her to come to a business mixer. Nothing official, just be there. She agrees. Big mistake. The Korean socialite women ice her out, and I don't mean they're just unfriendly. I mean they straight up pretend she doesn't exist. She tries to join a conversation, they switch to Korean and turn their backs. She smiles politely, they look through her like she's invisible. One woman with designer handbag, expensive jewelry, speaking loud enough for Nancy to hear. What's he doing with her? Is this some kind of fetish? Other women laughing, covering their mouths. Oh, she said it loud enough for Nancy to hear, made sure of it. Nancy keeps her composure, doesn't react, doesn't give them the satisfaction, but her hands are shaking around her wine glass. And Kang sees it. From across the room, he sees it, the way she's holding herself together, the way she's hurting. Later, in the car, Nancy finally breaks. She cries. For the first time since they met, she cries. Not dramatic sobs, just silent tears she can't hold back anymore. Maybe this is a mistake, she said. No, Kang cuts in. I can't keep doing this, being looked at like I'm nothing, like I'm some phase you're going through, she said, sobbing uncontrollably. Kang holding her face in his hands. The only mistake is me not protecting you better. The only mistake is me asking you to endure this alone. Those women, they're nothing. Their opinions mean nothing. You are... He stops, searching for words. You're everything they're terrified of. A woman who doesn't need their approval, who doesn't need their money, who doesn't need to perform for anyone. Then why are we hiding? If I'm so... Nancy's tears still falling, but she's listening. Because the Park family is planning something, a hostile takeover of Kang Industries, and they're waiting for me to make a mistake, to give them ammunition, to show any vulnerability they can exploit. Let them think that, because when I'm ready, when I have what I need, I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly who you are to me. But right now, I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Nancy wiping her tears, meeting his eyes, nodding slowly. I trust you. Nancy should have said no, should have walked away, should have protected herself. But love makes us do foolish things, doesn't it? Kang pulls her into his arms, holding her tight. And that's when Chairman Kang makes the most impulsive, reckless, completely uncalculated decision of his entire life. Kang pulling back, looking at Nancy with absolute certainty. Marry me. Nancy's eyes go wide, shocked. What? She said. Marry me. Tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, I don't care, but marry me. Nancy shaking her head, overwhelmed. Minho, you're not thinking clearly. I've never been more clear. Your family will disown you. Your business partners will walk. You'll lose everything. Kang gripping her hands fiercely. Not everything. I won't lose you. Y'all, the romance, the intensity. This man just proposed in the back of a car after she cried. No ring, no plan, just pure emotion. And Nancy? Nancy's about to make a decision that will change everything. Does she say yes? Oh, darlings, you already know she does. Y'all, they really did it. Private ceremony, just them, an officiant, and his most trusted lawyer. No Instagram posts, no wedding hashtags, no announcements to family or friends, just two people choosing each other even when the world said they shouldn't.
2 days after that car proposal, Nancy and Minho got married on a private rooftop, the same rooftop where he first told her she was his priority, not his secret. No elaborate decorations, no guest list of hundreds, just white roses, string lights, and the Seoul skyline as their witness. Nancy wears a simple white silk dress, nothing flashy, no 20-foot train or crystal beading, just pure, elegant silk that moves like water. Her hair is down in soft curls, minimal jewelry, natural makeup. She looks like herself, just the most beautiful version. And Minho, classic black suit, no tie, looking at Nancy like she's the only thing in existence that matters. The ceremony is short, sweet. They exchange vows in English and Korean, speaking to each other in both languages that brought them together. I promise to build a world where we don't have to hide, a world where loving you isn't a risk, it's a privilege everyone can see. I promise to stand beside you while we build it, not behind you, not in the shadows, beside you. And just like that, Nancy becomes Mrs. Kang. No fanfare, no media coverage, no society pages, just them. But don't think for a second this is a sad secret wedding. This is a chosen wedding. They chose each other. They chose this, and that makes it more powerful than any $1,000,000 ceremony. Later that night, in his penthouse, they're drinking champagne and watching the city lights. Nancy's still in her white dress. Minho's jacket is off, sleeves rolled up. They're sitting on the floor by the windows like they're the only two people in the world. "How long do we wait?" Nancy says, finally breaking the silence. "The Park family is finalizing their move. Once I know their full plan, I'll counter. Then we go public." "And if your world rejects us," she said, "then I'll build us a new world." Now, most wives would be content to wait, to let their powerful husband handle the business, to stay safe and hidden until the timing is right. But Nancy Kang is not most wives. A week after the wedding, Minho is in his home office going over intelligence reports, and this is where it gets interesting. Kang explaining to Nancy, showing her documents. The Park family has been embezzling from their own company for years, laundering money through fake vendors, inflating project costs, skimming off the top. They're planning a merger with the Kim family, specifically the groom's father's company. This merger would give them enough leverage to force a hostile takeover of Kang Industries. They'd own my suppliers, control my distribution, and essentially strangle my company until I'm forced to sell. Park's daughter is marrying Kim's son in 2 months. The wedding isn't just a wedding, it's a business celebration. Every player in their scheme will be there. Every corrupt official they've bribed, every company they've manipulated, all in one room. Nancy picks up the invitation, studying it. "I'll go." "Absolutely not," Kang snaps. "Why not? You need someone inside, someone they won't suspect." Nancy tries to convince him. "Nancy, these people will destroy you. You saw how those women treated you at the mixer. This will be worse, much worse." Nancy standing, facing him with determination. "You said you wanted to build a world where we don't have to hide. Let's start now. Let them show who they really are." "You don't understand what you're asking," Kang cuts in. "I understand exactly what I'm asking," she continues. "You need evidence. You need them to feel comfortable enough to talk freely, to drop their guard. They won't do that if you're there. But me? They'll think I'm nobody. They'll think I'm some random black woman who wandered in. They'll say things they'd never say if they knew I was your wife, and we'll have every word recorded." "If anything happens to you," Kang says, looking confused. "Nothing will happen to me," she tries to assure him. "I'll have security, I'll have you, and most importantly, I'll have the truth on my side. They're going to underestimate me. Let them. That's when people reveal themselves." Kang knows she's right. He hates that she's right, but she's right. So they plan.
everything. Hidden cameras, one in her jewelry, one disguised as a button on her dress. Audio recording devices, military grade, can pick up conversations from 20 feet away. Backup security positioned throughout the venue, not close enough to draw attention, but close enough to intervene if needed. Every exit mapped, every contingency planned, every possible scenario war-gamed. The night before the wedding, Min-ho can barely sleep. Nancy can see it, the tension in his shoulders, the way he keeps checking his phone, the way he's holding her a little tighter than usual. At any point, if it's too much, if they cross a line, you call me immediately. I don't care what's happening. I don't care who sees. You call me. It won't be. I've survived worse than their opinions. Promise me you'll call me if you need me. I promise. Let's show them who we are. And that, darlings, is how Nancy Kang ended up walking into the Park Kim wedding, not as a victim, not as a martyr, but as a warrior in a designer gown about to let the enemy destroy themselves. Because the beautiful thing about racists, give them enough rope and they'll hang themselves every single time. Now we're caught up to where we started. Nancy's at the wedding, Mrs. Park just dropped her champagne glass, and things are about to get very uncomfortable for everyone who thought they could treat her like she was nothing. Back to present. Nancy's sitting front row at the Park Kim wedding. The bride's mother is having heart palpitations. The groom's father is already on the phone, probably calling security, lawyers, maybe an exorcist. And Nancy? Nancy is sitting there looking like a whole meal, unbothered and moisturized, glowing, gorgeous, like she's exactly where she's supposed to be. Let's watch this play out, shall we? The ceremony wraps up, bride and groom kiss, everyone applauds, but the energy in this room, tense, because everyone's still trying to figure out who Nancy is and why she's in the family section. Nancy moves to the reception area, gets herself a glass of water from the bar, not champagne, water, because she needs to stay sharp, finds a spot near the edge of the room, just observing. And this is where it starts to get ugly. There's this man, let's call him Mr. Fingersnap, mid-40s, real estate developer, the kind of guy who thinks money makes him important and rudeness makes him powerful. Mr. Fingersnap looking at Nancy dismissively, then snapping his fingers at her. Miss! Nancy doesn't turn. She heard him, obviously. She's 5 feet away. She's choosing not to respond because she's not staff and she's definitely not his to command. Mr. Fingersnap getting irritated, snapping louder, in Korean. Ya, didn't you hear me? He snaps his fingers repeatedly, snap, snap. Other guests turning to look, some laughing. And there it is, the disrespect, the assumption, the audacity. Nancy slowly turns to look at him, expression neutral. Mr. Fingersnap smirking in broken English. Can you get us drinks? We've been waiting. His friends laughing, one pulling out his phone to film. His friends think this is hilarious. One of them is literally filming, another is elbowing his buddy like, watch this. A younger woman nearby, designer dress, fake sympathy voice. Oh my God, is she lost? Did she wander in from the service entrance? More laughter continues. Nancy's expression doesn't change. She doesn't flinch, doesn't snap back, doesn't defend herself, just stands there, calm, watching them, recording them. Remember those hidden cameras? Yeah, every word, every laugh, every cruel smirk, all recorded. Another guest, older woman, dripping in jewelry, in Korean, to her friend, but loud enough for Nancy to hear. Security is getting so lax these days, anyone can walk in. Nancy takes a sip of her water, still calm, still waiting. And then someone takes it too far. A man walking past Nancy with a glass of red wine accidentally bumps into her. Red wine spilling across Nancy's white dress, staining it. Red wine all over her dress, the white silk soaking it up like a sponge. The man who spilled it putting his hand over his mouth in fake shock, in English dripping with fake concern. "Oh, oh no, I'm so sorry." But he's smiling, they're all smiling. Then the bride's cousin, young woman, early 20s, designer everything, sweet voice, cruel eyes. "Oops, what a mess. Do you want to borrow something from the staff locker room? I'm sure they have spare uniforms." The group erupting in laughter, phones out filming, Nancy standing there, wine dripping down her dress. Baby, the cruelty, the casual, careless cruelty of people who've never been told no, who've never faced consequences, who think someone's pain is entertainment. Nancy stands there, wine soaking through her dress, cameras pointed at her, laughter surrounding her, and for a moment, just a moment, you can see it, the hurt, the anger, the weight of it all. But then she pulls out her phone, calmly daubing at the wine with a napkin, one-handed, while texting with the other. No to play Riney, doesn't run to the bathroom crying, doesn't yell, doesn't cause a scene, just calmly daubs at the wine with a napkin while texting with the other. Text typed on screen. "Now?" Response comes immediately. "Now." And just like that, Nancy stops wiping the wine, puts her phone away, and just waits. She doesn't leave, doesn't apologize, doesn't shrink, just stands there with wine all over her dress, looking at each person who laughed, memorizing their faces. And the guests, they think they won, they think they broke her, they think this is the end of the story. Mr. Fingersnap raising his glass in mock toast, others joining in. At least she knows her place now. More laughter. Honey, if you thought that was the tea, baby, we haven't even started steeping yet. Because while they're laughing, while they're filming, while they're congratulating themselves on humiliating a woman they think is nobody, the cavalry is arriving and their phones are about to start ringing, all of them at once.
You know that moment in a movie when everything goes quiet right before all hell breaks loose? This is that moment. Except it's not quiet. It's phone notifications, lots of them. It starts with one phone, then another, and suddenly the entire ballroom sounds like a beehive that just got kicked. Email alerts, text messages, news notifications, push alerts. Every phone in this room is going off. And Mr. Fingersnap, the man who thought snapping at Nancy was funny, he checks his phone first. Text on the screen. Emergency board meeting 8 a.m. tomorrow. Hostile takeover in progress. Mr. Fingersnap's face draining of color. In Korean, panicked. What is this? He's scrolling frantically, more notifications coming in. Text on the screen. Major shareholder dumping stock. Company valuation dropping 40%. Wine spill woman? Oh, she's got her own problems. Text on the screen. Urgent. Your investment portfolio has been liquidated. Contact your advisor immediately. Now, her hands shaking, she's calling someone, screaming into phone in Korean. What do you mean liquidated? Who authorized that? And the groom's father, the man whose son just got married, he just got a notification that's about to ruin way more than his evening. Text on the screen. SEC investigation notice. Fraud, money laundering, corporate espionage, federal agents en route. His stumbling backward, gripping a table for support. No, barely breathing. But the real star of this catastrophe, the bride's father, Mr. Park himself, the man who thought this wedding was his victory lap. Mr. Park pulling out phone with shaking hands. Text on the screen. Arrest warrant issued. Embezzlement, fraud, tax evasion. Text on the screen. Assets frozen. Court order. Text on the screen. Media alert. Breaking news. Park family corruption scandal. His phone drops right out of his hand. Just drops, like his fingers forgot how to work. The ballroom erupting into chaos. People standing, shouting, making frantic calls. And suddenly, this elegant wedding reception turns into absolute chaos.
Guests shouting in Korean, panicked conversations. What do you mean the merger is off? Who did this? Who did this? My accounts are frozen, all of them. Security's trying to maintain order, but even they're confused. Guests are rushing out. Some are crying, some are screaming. The bride standing at the head table looking absolutely lost, her perfect wedding imploding around her. Mrs. Park clutching her husband's arm. What's happening? What did you do? I don't know. Mr. Park sounding defeated. Pan across the chaos. Billionaires are sweating. CEOs are hyperventilating. Politicians are calculating how fast they can distance themselves from this disaster. The whole room is falling apart. And Nancy? Our girl Nancy is just watching, still standing there with wine all over her dress, not panicking, not running, just watching these people who humiliated her completely fall apart. Nancy really said, I'm about to ruin this whole wedding's career, and did it. And some of them are starting to realize. You can see it in their faces. Mr. Fingersnap looking at Nancy like he's putting puzzle pieces together. The wine spill woman staring at her like she's seeing her for the first time. Nancy meets their eyes, all of them, one by one, and her expression says everything. You thought I was nothing. You were wrong. But wait. Because while everyone's panicking, while phones are ringing and people are screaming, while this wedding is burning faster than a house of cards in a windstorm, through the ballroom windows, multiple black luxury vehicles pulling up. Her husband is about to make an entrance that will go down in history. Car doors opening, footsteps approaching, guests near the windows noticing the cars, confused. Who is that? Why are there so many cars? Everyone's turning towards the doors now, the chaos quieting just slightly, because even in the middle of their personal apocalypses, they can feel it. Someone important is here. And Nancy? She smooths down her dress, adjusts her hair, takes a breath. Doesn't even turn to look at the door, doesn't crane her neck like everyone else. She already knows who's coming. She's been waiting for this moment since she walked through those doors, since they snapped their fingers at her, since they poured wine on her dress, since they treated her like she was nothing. And now they're about to learn exactly who she is. Seoul society is about to have a moment. You know how in K-dramas, when the male lead enters and time literally stops? When the music swells and everyone's jaw drops and you just know everything is about to change? This is that moment, except it's real. Chairman Kang Min-ho in a midnight blue Tom Ford suit that probably costs more than most people's cars, hair perfectly styled, expression completely unreadable, walking into this ballroom like he owns it. Correction, like he owns everything. And he's not alone. Behind him, a whole team, security, lawyers with briefcases that definitely contain more than just documents, the kind of entourage that makes powerful people nervous. The ballroom goes silent, and I don't mean quiet, I mean you could hear a diamond earring drop. Everyone is frozen, mid-conversation, mid-panic, mid-phone call, just frozen. That's Chairman Kang. Why is he here? And Mr. Park, the bride's father, the man who's currently got an arrest warrant with his name on it, he looks like he's about to pass out. Kang walks through the crowd, doesn't look left or right, doesn't acknowledge anyone. People are stepping back, moving out of his way without even thinking about it. That's power, darlings, the kind you can't buy, the kind you earn by being absolutely ruthless when you need to be. His eyes scan the room, taking in everything, the chaos, the panic, the phones, and then he sees her. And for the first time since he walked in, his expression changes. The ice in his eyes melts, just a fraction, but enough. Nancy turns, finally, and their eyes meet across the room. And baby, the look on his face, like she's the only person in this entire ballroom, like everyone else just disappeared. He walks toward her, direct path, doesn't stop, doesn't pause, doesn't acknowledge a single person trying to get his attention. He's not here for them, he's here for her. He stops in front of her, and for a moment they just look at each other. He's taking in the wine stain on her dress, the tension in her shoulder she's been hiding, the weight of what she just endured. And you can see him getting angry, not explosive anger, cold anger, the dangerous kind. Kang's hand reaching up, gently touching Nancy's cheek. "Are you all right?" Nancy nodding slightly. "I'm fine." Kang's eyes searching hers, not quite believing her. "Did they hurt you?" Nancy glancing at the wine stain, then back at him. "Nothing I couldn't handle." "That's not what I asked." Kang's voice harder now. Nancy's composure finally cracking just slightly, vulnerability showing. "They tried." Kang's expression darkening, his hand moving to her waist protective. Oh, the tenderness, the protectiveness. This man is about to burn this whole wedding to the ground, and it's written all over his face. Guests watching this exchange, confused, whispers all through the room. Why is he touching him like that? Who is she? And then Kang turns, slowly, to face the room, his arm wrapped around Nancy's waist like a shield, and the authority radiating off this man, the quiet, absolute power. Everyone shuts up immediately. You could hear a pin drop, 300 people and not a single sound. "I believe you've all met my wife," Kang's eyes sweeping across the guests. Wife. Baby, the gasps, the shock, jaws are dropping, hands are flying to mouths. Someone's champagne glass actually shatters on the floor. Mrs. Park looks like she's about to faint. Mr. Fingersnap has gone from pale to gray. The bride is standing there like a statue, her perfect wedding day crashing down around her. Mrs. Nancy Kang, Kang's expression, still cold and controlled. He pauses, lets that sink in. "My wife of 2 months, the woman you just humiliated, the woman you snapped your fingers at, the woman you treated like staff." Kang's eyes landing on Mr. Fingersnap specifically. "The woman you treated like staff." Kang's guys moving to the wine spiller, the woman you assaulted with a glass of wine. Nancy standing beside him now, not behind him, not in his shadow, beside him, equal, partners, and suddenly she doesn't look like a victim anymore. She looks like exactly what she is, a queen. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering why your phones have been active this evening. He taps his phone screen, projection screen behind the head table suddenly lighting up. Oh, he brought visuals. The Park family has been embezzling from their own company for 7 years, laundering money through fake vendors, bribing officials, committing securities fraud. More documents, recordings, timestamp evidence. He's got receipts, darlings, like actual receipts, bank statements, wire transfers, recorded phone calls. This man came with a whole PowerPoint presentation of evidence. Mr. Park trying to speak, voice shaking. This is fabricated, lies. Kang's cold smile. Is it? Shall we call the federal prosecutors I've been working with for the past 6 months? They're quite interested in speaking with you. In fact, they're waiting outside. Mr. Park crumples, literally crumples, like a puppet with cut strings. Kang turns his attention to the other guests. As for the rest of you, everyone who laughed, everyone who filmed, everyone who thought my wife was entertainment, his voice drops, becomes even more dangerous. Your businesses, your investments, your reputations, all of it is mine now. I didn't just ruin your accounts, I acquired them. Oh, he didn't just ruin them. He bought their companies, their investments, everything. This man played 4D chess while they were playing tic-tac-toe. Kang's arm tightening around Nancy. You thought she was nobody. You thought you could treat her however you wanted. You were wrong. And there they stand, Chairman Kang and his wife, the couple Seoul's elite tried to break, standing in the middle of the destruction they chose to walk into. And they're not broken. They're victorious.
Now, most women in this situation, they'd let their powerful husband handle it. Let him do all the talking. Let him fight all the battles. But we already established Nancy Kang is not most women. She steps forward, just slightly. Kang's hand falls away, but he stays close, because this is her moment. And Nancy, standing there in her wine-stained dress, looking at the people who humiliated her, finally speaks. Voice clear, steady, in perfect Korean. I want to thank you all. Thank them? Girl, what? She continues. Truly, because when my husband told me about this plan, when he asked me if I was willing to come here to endure whatever you threw at me, I wasn't sure. I wondered if people could really be that cruel, that careless, that predictable. Her eyes sweeping across the crowd. But you proved me right. Every single one of you were just as my husband predicted. The man who snapped his fingers at me, she looks directly at him. You didn't even ask my name, didn't wonder if maybe you were making a mistake. You just assumed. Because in your world, a black woman in this space could be only one thing: service. Mr. Fingersnap, unable to meet his eyes, the shame is written all over his face. The woman who accidentally spilled wine on my dress? We both know it wasn't an accident. You wanted to humiliate me, to make me leave, to remind me I didn't belong. The problem is, you were never the one who got to decide where I belong. What? She's crying now. No, not Nancy. The woman who hurt her is crying. The irony is delicious. Nancy continues. And the young woman who suggested I borrow from the staff locker room? That was particularly creative. Cruel, but creative. I hope you remember this moment the next time you're tempted to treat someone as less than human for a laugh. Here's what you all don't understand. I didn't come here as a victim. I came here as a witness. Every insult, every laugh, every cruel comment, every second you spent treating me like I was nothing, it was all for the camera. Guests' faces paling, remembering the phones filming, the videos, the things they said. Oh, the panic. Audio recordings, video footage, time-stamped, documented, everything you said, everything you did. She pauses. And tomorrow morning, the media will have access to it all, not edited, not taken out of context, everything. Gasps, people pulling out their phones frantically. You can't, you can't what? Nancy snaps. Show the world who you really are. Show them how Seoul's elite treat people they think are beneath them. Watch me. Mrs. Park stepped forward, desperate and pleading. Please, my daughter's wedding. This is her special day. Nancy's expression hardening. Your daughter watched me get humiliated and laughed. Your daughter's special day was built on stolen money and corruption. She looks at the bride directly. I'm sorry your father's crimes are catching up with him today, truly, but that's not my fault, that's his. Oh no, the bride is sobbing now, full breakdown, but Nancy's not backing down because sometimes the truth hurts more than wine stains. She turns back to the crowd. I gave you all a choice tonight. You could have been kind, you could have been curious, you could have simply ignored me. Instead, you chose cruelty, and now you get to live with the consequences. Kang steps forward, standing beside Nancy again. The federal prosecutors will be taking statements. I suggest you all cooperate. Those of you who were simply rude to my wife. Your businesses are now under new management, my management. You'll report to Nancy directly starting Monday morning. Report to Nancy? Baby, the poetry, the justice. Talk, Mrs. Ballery. Talk, Kimmy Ye. The man who snapped his fingers at her now has to report to her. Nancy slightly smiles. I'm looking forward to our first meeting. That's not even a threat. That's a promise. Kang's security team moving through the crowd, handing documents to specific people. You're all receiving documentation of your new arrangements. I suggest you read carefully, Kang said. He's giving them paperwork at a wedding. The man brought contracts to someone else's wedding reception. The audacity, the brilliance. Taking a breath, her composure finally relaxing slightly. Can we go home now? Kang's expression softening, gentle. We can go anywhere you want. Nancy leans into him slightly, exhausted but victorious. And for the first time all night, Nancy lets herself lean on him. Not because she needs to be saved, but because she's tired, because she's human, because she just walked through fire and she's allowed to rest. They start walking out, past the shocked guests, past the crying bride, past the destroyed parks, past everyone who thought they could break her. And as they walk out, every single person in that ballroom is watching, not with judgment this time, not with cruelty, with fear, with respect, with the dawning realization that they just made an enemy of the most powerful couple in Seoul. Nancy and Kang reaching the door, pausing. Nancy turns back, one last look at the crowd, clearly for everyone to hear. Oh, and one more thing. Everyone freezes. The recordings? They go live at 8 a.m. unless each of you personally apologizes in writing by 7 a.m. to my email, which I'm sure you can find. She smiles, cold and beautiful. Your choice. And they're gone. Just like that, leaving behind a ballroom of people frantically typing apologies on their phones, a destroyed wedding, ruined reputations, and the legend of the woman they tried to humiliate. Not bad for a woman they thought was staff, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. How do you know all of this? How did you get every detail, every private conversation, every intimate moment? Well, loves, let's just say I have my sources. Very good sources. The kind of sources that know what happens behind closed doors, in private cars, in penthouse apartments. Some people think I'm a journalist. Some think I'm a hacker. Some think I'm someone on the inside, maybe a maid, a driver, a personal assistant who sees everything. And you know what? Let them wonder. A lady never reveals all her secrets. What I can tell you is this. I'm always watching, always listening, and when Seoul's elite think they're getting away with something, when they think their cruelty has no consequences, when they think money and power make them untouchable, that's when I brew a fresh pot and start taking notes. Nothing like hot tea to end a good story. And speaking of hot tea, you can call me Lady with the Hot Tea. And darlings, my cup is always full. I know who's cheating, who's embezzling, who's pretending to be something they're not, who's about to get exactly what they deserve. And when the tea is this good, I simply have to share. So when the next scandal breaks, when the next wedding goes sideways, when the next powerful person learns they're not as untouchable as they thought, I'll be here, cup in hand, ready to spill. So keep your designer bags close and your secrets closer, Soul, because Lady with the Hot Tea is always watching. And honey, I never run out of tea bags.
Until next time, my loves, stay messy, stay curious, and remember, the tea is always hotter when it's fresh. So like, comment, and subscribe for the next scandal. This is Lady with the Hot Tea signing off. Ciao, darlings. Same time, same teacup, next scandal.